Good morning. So today I'm talking about, do you have any old software? Now I'm sure you might have, depends what your laptop's doing, how old your laptop is. What I'm talking about is in our heads. Have you ever gone to a meeting and planned it beforehand, planned your agenda, knowing what you're going to say, and then you fluff your lines? Or somebody says something and you think, oh, I don't agree with that. That's not right. You don't say anything. And then you leave the meeting frustrated, annoyed with yourself. How can I call myself a leader if I can't even speak up in a meeting? How can I support my 300 in my team, my multi-million pound budget that I'm meant to be working with, and I can't even speak up at a meeting? Well, that can often happen. And why does it happen? Because we have some old software in our heads. As children, we are like sponges. We absorb everything around us and we take what we're told as fact. So if you're told as your parents or teacher, stay quiet, be a good girl, be a good boy, etc., then we take those messages in. Now, my message was we used to go to church and my mother used to reward me for staying quiet in church. Which was someone with ADHD, like I know now, obviously didn't know then. It was very difficult. And I remember literally sitting on my hands, trying to stay really quiet and really not fidget. And it was difficult, but I did it with much effort. And so consequently, I just realized, when I started having some coaching in my 40s, and then before I went into this wonderful world of coaching myself, I realized it was the old software. I'd got this message in my head: stay quiet, be rewarded, speak up, be punished. Now, my mother never said about being speak up and being punished. But what happened was, because in my head, I thought I'll be punished if I actually speak up, I thought best stay quiet. And so, yes, I was a good girl. Yes, I put my hand up in class, but I didn't kind of push myself too much, although because in case other people didn't get a chance. And so all these stories I was making up. And then I realized that is why I don't speak up in meetings. And through some coaching and unpicking some other stories from my childhood, suddenly everything changed. And that's obviously how I can support yourselves now. So sometimes we take these stories. So have a think about stories that you might have been told. Sometimes you don't even realize. And this is where the coaching comes in. This is where having conversations comes in. I had one of many clients. I do this with my clients. And one amazing story I had was when a client, age 6, she was told to put her hand down in maths class. Give someone else a chance. Don't always be the one that has to speak. Give your friends a chance too. And so that was the same thing. She wasn't speaking up in meetings because this whole software of putting a hand down, being shot down, I'm not going to put my hand up. Now, metaphorically, physically, obviously as a child, you put your hand up. But in the boardroom, you put your hand up by speaking, saying, no, I don't agree with that. Or, speaking powerfully. So this is the magic of unpicking these stories, because they are our software. So once we understand these stories that are working against us, then we can actually live the life we're meant to live. And I've had clients that have literally, the first time they've had the stories unpicked, the next board meeting, whoa, amazing. And one, I've had a client being directed to the board. I've had another one that's actually been headhunted. Suddenly, his whole demeanor showed up differently. So let's have a conversation, because I know that you've got so many amazing attributes. The very fact that you're in the role that you're in, you have incredible talents. Sometimes we don't acknowledge them. Others see us inspiring, but we don't see we're inspiring ourselves. And there's a bit of an identity gap where how your team see you as an inspiring and courageous leader, we don't see it ourselves. And so this is the time to swash that gap. So you own up with all your attributes, all your abilities, so that you show up as the visible, powerful, courageous leader that I know you really are. So this is a little short tip for me today. So look after yourself, and I'll put some links in the chat below, and then let's have a conversation. Take care. Bye.